if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up? What is up? Hope everyone's having a nice Monday. It's pre-gaming here at Sports Money. You'll find us here Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Only show that leverages all that tools, technology, line movement, cash flow splits, injury analysis, the way the wind is blowing, and anything else that we can try to come up with to create an edge to give it to you guys on a regular basis here at Sports Money. That's what we're doing tonight. We got a big card to attack. Opening up in baseball. And I got a WNBA play. How about that? You like apples? How you like them apples? I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I took a big swing on a home run parlay as well. DraftKings has a boost, so I'm going to share that with you guys. And I just want to make sure I don't miss this. I had to double check what time that WNBA game started because I did not want to miss. So it's going to be a fun night. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We had a lot of fun on Saturday with the UFC stream, and then moving on in. Look, I don't know how they're going to argue. It was like 8-2, I think was the total run again with these cash flow splits from opening line and reading the lines appropriately. And I believe it's 17-5 now over the last 2 weeks. 17-5 is a pretty damn good edge when it comes to betting in the UFC. So, you know what? We're going to move forward and keep that thing rolling out there. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Now, this is a week that doesn't have UFC on Saturday. It's the Memorial Day weekend. Most of the time you will see the UFC is not rolling on federally observed holidays. And that happens to be this weekend. So there will be no Saturday live show, which means there will not be a Tuesday VB show. There will not be a Wednesday First Strike show. Furthermore, I'll be out of town this weekend, and there will not be a show next Monday. It's Monday for Memorial Day. It's a small card. I see Jover's comment in there. Jover, I can only be responsible for myself. I don't know what to say. But that is the case. So we will have shows every day this week, Monday through Friday, for pre-gaming. Of course, our guy Ramon Scott will be rolling every single day as he does. And we'll see if we can't find some good spots to bang away at with this weekend coming up as well. So lots to go through, lots to cover, lots of action. Settled some scores. Now, we did cash our Florida Panthers to win the series prop, plus 110 after game one. Called that thing almost to a T. Almost to a T. Said specifically, after they lose game one, those price tags will be over minus 200s down in Florida. And they were. Sharp respected betting action came out too late last night. The Sharps cashed again with the Florida Panthers. So that train continues to be running red hot. I was on the front. That was not the right side of things there. Ugly game for Toronto, but hey, look, congrats to the Panthers. We now have probably my least favorite playoff series of all of them going here. We've got Carolina and Florida will pop off tomorrow. Sharp respected betting action is already coming in. They are already hammering the under. For what it's worth, now you know. Florida Panthers. Carolina Hurricanes will tee off tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday, we'll start the Edmonton Oilers-Dallas Stars series. Another one I just don't care about. So that means it'll be easier to bet because I don't care about any of those teams. So I don't have any bias coming in to bet on those sports out there. But hey, what a game last night. Shout out to them Panthers. They just shut down. I mean, look, 3-0 second period. Eesh, ugly. First period was 0-0 scoreless. The under was looking really good, and then it wasn't. And they scored 3 more goals in the third period. So not quite wire to wire, but Florida does handle business. And, even though they didn't score in that first period, it was like 80-20, right? 80% of the time, Florida Panthers were aggressively attacking that Toronto Maple Leafs side of the ice. Couldn't even get it going until I don't think they got their shots until like the last 5 minutes of the first period for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So it was never the Maple Leafs. And my future bet, down the 2. As far as the NBA is concerned, though, the OKC Thunder smashed the Nuggets. Smashed them. Now, Nuggets won the first quarter, 26-21. And then this is pretty much it. Nuggets are done. Smashed. Out. 4-3 in a best of 7. That creates a Timberwolves OKC Thunder spot. And the Pacers and the Knicks. Now, I think we see the Pacers, and I think we see the OKC Thunder, and I think we see OKC Thunder win the chip this year. Write it down. Mark it. Highlight it. Underline it. Circle it. Do whatever you got to do to it. Maybe even think about getting some exactas in there. I gave out some NASCAR yesterday. We got our top 5. Plus 455, I think, was that top 5 finish for NASCAR. So big score there. Gave 2 shots for, big shots, right? Of 10-1 and I think 25-1 for the outrights. Didn't get there, but hey, 5-1 on a top 5 finish. Not too shabby. Golf, we saw Scotty Scheffler nuke the field again. Scotty too hotty. Sadly, I took a beefy bet on Jon Rahm to finish. The bet was that finishing outside of any other, what was it? Finishing without Scotty, I think is what it was. I forgot how they say it. Basically, you're saying Scotty's going to win the tournament. Who do you think is going to come in second? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. And Jon Rahm imploded on the 18th hole. I was watching him take a flop shot from way off the side of the green. And then he's putting for bogey, and he gets a double bogey to crush my hopes and dreams. I did get a home run prop yesterday. That's what inspired me to get her rolling here again today. Willie Smith, big Willie style, cashed out there. So that's the way. That's the way we kick off this week. It is new week, new money-making opportunity. And anytime a guy from Canada texts you a bet for the ice hockey, you just ignore it. Just ignore it. That's the big takeaway today. Just ignore it. First period over. Foolish. Canada lost to Finland. How about them apples in international ice hockey as they get ready to start their summer too. So we're getting ready to start this show. You guys know the deal, though. It is ultra, uber important to smash that thumbs up button. In-show, thumbs up. Post-show comments. Gave away some gear this weekend, and I'm still waiting for somebody to reach out to me from that winning over the weekend. It was fun. Had some duck races in that UFC. UFC was done super early, so we got to watch that Dallas Stars game and just nuke that thing. Dallas, the under, the parlay, Dallas and the under, the 2-1 final score. And Shifley to score first. Back-to-back first goal scores. I did not get yesterday's. I took a shot with my friends last night. And, I took plenty of shots, but I took a shot on a first goal score and did not get there last night. But I had back-to-backs. Shifley and Austin Matthews. Good stuff. Good paydays. Okay. As I was saying, smash that thumbs up button. Now is the time to support the show. In-show thumbs up. Post-show comments. Love the comments. That's how I got going on giving away the swag with the duck race out there. Take a second. If you haven't done so already, smash that thumbs up and we'll get to work. Okay, who's ready to make some money? Got a little update there. I'm ready to make some money. I hope you guys are as well. Pen and paper out. It's time. We got to get recognizing the best chat in the business, sharing their best bets out there. On an otherwise quiet sports night, we're opening up wide. And I'm excited about it. I've been looking at this fucking baseball card all day. And there was nothing really early going on other than donating some money because I listened to a Canadian tell me about hockey. You know, nobody does it better than we do it here. And this chat talking about best bets out there. Get them out there. Write them down. We're going to start with Jover. He's giving us the Cubs and the Marlins. He's going over 8.5. Jover on an over down there. Down there in Miami. Most popular bet home run prop tonight. Kyle Tucker. Okay. Kyle Tucker. I personally like Crow Armstrong. And knowing that Kyle Tucker is the most popular bet player, I would not get involved with that. I would not play Kyle Tucker. I would play Crow Armstrong for a home run. And if you're going to play him, you might as well catch him at plus 545. Because that's what I did. So let's go. Redbeard's in the house. What up, Redbeard? He says Pitt Moneyline under 8.5 plus 220. Nerfy parlay. Reds, Mets, Tigers plus 333 for our guy Redbeard. What's up, Redbeard? Good to see you, my guy. Gerald Jones is here. And he's 47-37 with a Tampa first 5 -0.5. Tampa Bay. Pepio. A little confidence in Pepio from our guy Gerald Jones. Shout out to Stop Geoengineering. Sancho. This is Sports Money Network. Was an amazing UFC Saturday stream. Yeah, we're starting to figure it out. I mean, listen, I say that tongue in cheek. We figured it out a long time ago, but it's really starting to come together. Especially just adding some of these more, these new tools. Starting, you can't just start firing away on respected betting. You got to track it for a little while. You got to see how it does. That's why we're always talking about, like, what did AI do? What did AI tool stinks? But maybe it'll get better as it's AI, and it should educate itself on whether it's winning or losing and making corrections as it goes. At least that's how it works in my vision with AI. That being said, though, the damn sharp respected betting action. Our guy Andrew Babakitis coming in there. I was disappointed, though. Disappointed the co-main event got canceled. Paul Craig was my guy. I think it got canceled because Paul Craig got smashed. He was plus 400 when I gave him out. He went all the way down to plus 230s. Then he got canceled. Coincidence? Gerald Jones smashed Scotty 4-1 with boosts. Justin McKelvey's up in this piece. What's up, Justin? So sports money is money. Trisha M's excited about her Ice Cats. There we go. Gerald Jones. His Knicks are earning checks. Man, them people in New York were nuts. See how nuts they were? Oh, I did see that Halliburton's going to fly that Pacers fan out. That was kind of cool, actually. Dude was getting literally trash thrown at him as he was walking out of Madison Square Garden. And Halliburton decided to fly him out to, I don't know, appreciate the support, I guess. That's what he's doing. He's got the money. Why not? David Wallace is here. Says, let's get paid. Old E's up in here. Just smash that like button. Redbeard says, that was me, Mike. Timmy Two-Shoe. Give me Freddie Freeman to get himself a home run with Fott. I got Freddie Freeman too. Freddie Freeman tied with Ohtani. Because Ohtani was stupid price tag. No, Trisha, my Canadian friend is not named Drake. I did see Drake had that $1 million bet there put on Toronto. So that was it. That was the kiss of death. And then on top of that, I'm at my buddy's house. He's a huge Panthers fan. And he's got me trying to get me to wear some fucking Panthers jersey. I was like, dude, I'm not. Stop. I don't wear jerseys, first of all. Second off, certainly not wearing that one. Let's go. Gerald Jones says, have future parlay Dallas OKC. Wow. Hey, man. That's exciting. That's a fun one. Joe Dubs up in here. Sancho says, Mariners, White Sox, over 7.5. Tigers, money line. Gerald Jones. Knicks, Panthers, parlay made early second round, 28-1. Let's go. I did see that. Volato. Got the old gift that keeps on giving. That's not a cold sore. It's an outbreak. Yeah. Gross to even think about. Every time I see it's ruined it for me too, because I can't stop when I see what was the story? I don't know. I probably shouldn't even say it. There's allegedly a movie star had a relationship with a major league ball player, and he gave her the gift that keeps on giving, allegedly. And every time I see her, I still think, fuck, what a waste. I don't know if it's true or not. I've never seen her with the I don't even like to think about it. Peter Gracia, what's up? Lots of action again. So let's cash again. Trevor, 85 with Craig taking on big money. Do you think the books in the UFC are in collusion? Fuck yeah, they are, dude. Absolutely, I think they are. They had to tell the UFC guys to stop betting on the UFC. I do think there is some collusion going on there. And I do think that's exactly what. Listen, you tell me you got Simplex too. That's fine. But I don't know. I mean, let me put myself in the mind of somebody that might have Simplex 2 for a minute. Am I going to go on Twitter and post about it? I'm not. I'm not saying I have anything to disclose to you guys, but I am saying I wouldn't be putting it on Twitter if I did. And I don't think any of you would either. So that's not a fucking badge of honor. And I bet you he took the old magic bullet for the UFC. And he probably got himself a nice payday on the backside. So why not go out there? And I don't know. Makes me sick to my stomach just to think about it. But I do think there's some collusion going on there. Bo Jackson. The one part of that's right. It wasn't Mariah. I think close in the ethnicity, but never mind. Never mind. I probably shouldn't tell that story. That's not a story for pre-gaming. That story might have liability to it too, so I don't want to be libelous. But it is a true story, and it's true because I know for a fact from a friend that it's true. But anyways, I digress. Let's talk some baseball. All right. What do we got kicking around this way? Well, what we've got kicking here is the Red Sox hosting the team that traveled off of Sunday night baseball in the New York Metropolitans out there. Did have the Yankees last night. Did have the Yankees, a little juicy. Then I lied about him after the Mets tied it back up. So additional expenditure of energy, all wasted for the New York Mets, who end up taking the L anyways. Now traveling about 90 minutes to Boston. Beantown. 79% of the bets, 80% of the cash are on the New York Mets. You know the deal. We look at this percentage of bets and percentage of cash as the weather vane. Which way is the wind blowing? Percentage of bets we typically associate with the public betting. It's all the tickets being written, count, of course. $5 parlays, teasers, props, all this, everything. Everything that's being written. And we typically associate that with just kind of what's the public on. Then we look for the percentage of cash. We typically associate that with the bigger bettors. And generally thinking that the bigger bettors are probably sharper bettors. They're probably not a bunch of dummies out there dropping a duffel bag full of cash down on the counter and saying, give me the New York Mets and I'm a public dude. Probably not the case. In this case, though, all that cash, all that money, all those tickets, this line has come down 17 cents. You could get the Mets at minus 142. They are now minus 125. And if you like them then, you got to love them now. Kodai Senga, with a stellar year at 4-2 with a 1.02 ERA. Dobbins. How about this guy? 2-1 on the season. Got 3.9 ERA. For Boston. It's your cousin. I was way off there. Listen. Had a rough start. His last one was not pretty. They did play Detroit. They did get thumped up. He got roughed up out there his last start. He did go 5 innings. He got hit 9 times, 5 runs, 5 earned. What I like about that is it's character building. In other words, if you're going to play like shit, you ain't coming out. And I like that. 3 games started, 16.2 innings, a lot of hits he's given up out there, 18 hits, 8 runs. So look, despite that previous start not being his finest hour, he still has a 3.78 ERA at home. You do have the New York Mets traveling off of the Sunday night baseball game. And, we have made plenty of cash in those fade spots. I don't know what's going on with my bet stamp. I think I won too much. I can't get on from my laptop, so I got to go on my phone and actually enter them. So, this price tag's around plus 110 right now. Plenty of fine number to get that. As I said there, we do have some reverse line movement coming on, but plenty of 110s available. It opened at plus 120. Total hasn't moved. From 9, it's staying at 9. 61% of the bet, 62% of the cash. Does make me nervous. Key number for baseball being that 9, and parking it right on a 9 suggests that maybe somebody does get touched up in this one here. But for me, I'm going to take the Red Sox. This is a Boston spot. For the aforementioned reasons out there, I just think that you're looking at a situation where you've got this team coming off of that expended energy. And, as much as Boston, I think the motivation there is being the home team, looking for your pitcher to come kind of bounce back from a rough start. And I think Senga, by the way, probably due for a little bit of the old regression monster as things continue along. You know what's funny? I was going to send it to Nick Earl, because he tagged me in a post a couple weeks ago, I guess. And he was like, oh, they just swept the Mets just swept the Phillies. Look at this. Since then, I believe they are 4-15 or something like that. The Mets, them bats. J-Dub. J-Main says, thought Ramon said you were off. I don't know what Ramon was doing out there. Next Monday. We will be off next Monday. Next Monday, we will not have a show Monday night. Mostly because I will not be here. And there's not a lot of games either. So not like a ton of a miss out there, but I'll still communicate with you guys. I'll still let you guys get some plays out there from what I'm putting my money on. I'm just going to be navigating the Canadian wilderness. Textile says I was out of there. It's like New Year's Eve in Times Square. Bo Jackson likes the Red Sox as well. All right. That gives me some confidence. Confidence as we keep this train rolling here. You guys might not like this one. And that's okay. We don't have to agree on every one of these opportunities here, but it is Pepio. Pepio Le Pew starting for the Tampa Bay Rays. I talked to you guys about this before, and I know I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth here because I am on Boston. But AL East teams at home against non-divisional opponents, not the finest. And this Tampa Bay Rays team is exemplifying the situation out there. Of course, we know that their field is being rehabbed. They should just nuke it and start over, but they're opting to drop more money into the moneyless pit, bottomless pit. 11-17 are the Tampa Bay Rays at home. Now, with that being said, the Houston Astros find themselves 9-13 on the road. We've got a situation with this line. It's moving in the Tampa direction, but there are some bigger bets starting to come in on the Houston Astros. They went from plus 110 to plus 125, $1.25. 39% of the bets, but 47% of the cash coming in on the Astros. So there's that little bit of differential that's showing a little bit of weather from the big bettors coming in on this Houston Astros side of things. This total went from 9.5 to 9. 70% of the bets, 68% of the cash on the over. And it's come down. So who's going to shove? Pepio Le Pew with a 3.93 ERA, and the team can't catch a win. He's 2-5. I don't care if they're winning, but if they are losing, tells you all you need to know about the way that they start the game and are not able to turn it over. And you got a Tampa Bay team that can certainly cool down at any given time, although they're playing Gordon. On the other side, for the Houston Astros, Gordon comes into this thing with a dismal 6.23 ERA. The hitter-friendly park of George Steinbrenner Field. Do we see a boatload of runs out there? I think so. I know this total from 9.5 has come down to 9. I just, for what's being said, though, a lot of people talk about this being that hitter-friendly ballpark. It is just 11-15 to the over for Tampa Bay at home. Now, partly that's because they generate runs in bunches. And they generate misses in bunches. They will chase. Here we go. Speaking of, they are a win one, lose one type of team. Zigging and zagging. They won 1-4-0 against the Marlins. Guess what happened the next day? They lost. I laughed because there's another example of the shutout coming through and capitalizing out there. The Astros are a shit team too. They're a win one, lose one type of squad. So you got two zigzaggers. You got reverse line movement popping out all over the place out there. And a general temperature that says that the public wants to fade Gordon. And I can understand it. Per surface level, his numbers warrant that. But look, better teams on the road versus teams just coming back home. Tampa Bay just played in Miami. They are coming back home. That first home game, they tend to lose 172 and 115 in those spots. Does support a Houston Astros play. And that's what I'm on. The Houston Astros. Houston, what's up, Derek B? Got the Mets first 5, then jumping on the Red Sox live. J-Main, Tigers up or what? Rays 1-5 versus the AL Central. Great one there. Win is also blown out at Tampa. And J-Main says he thinks that the O's are going to smoke the shit out of the Brewers. So give me some Houston Astros out there. Let's keep her moving. Let's get on to this game in our back pocket. The Cleveland Guardians, the Minnesota Twins. And everyone's talking about these Twins. And I'll say this. They win a lot and they lose a lot. And they do it in bunches. 15-6 at home. They play pretty well at home. The Guardians 11-13 on the road. Not too terrible, considering all things considered when you look at this thing. And what we've got going on with this one. I mean, look, Willie Benson beat them Guardians up. 3-game sweep. Yikes. I've said this before, especially when I get involved with Sharpie and we start looking at the hitting props, I can't find the right dudes to get involved with when it comes to this Cleveland side of things. Like a year ago, it was Jose Ramirez nonstop, and even both Nailers were firing at one point, but not for me, not so much this season. Here's what we've got, though. This line, oscillating. We got an oscillator. Kind of a false front. -142 is where it opened. It's at -136. So it has come down 6 cents. It's also gone up 6 cents on the other side. The Guardians went from +120 to +126. Remember, we do this best because we get the very first number to hit the street, not the first number that pops up without limits and all that other nonsense. 77% of the bets and 88% of the cash are on the Twins. That is a lot of money, a lot of coin, a lot of cheddar on the Minnesota Twins. And why not? They're beating everybody. People with blinders that think they beat everybody don't realize this team can equally lose 15 straight games. 93% of the bets, 91% of the cash are banging in on this over. It's at 7.5. It ain't moving. It's Uber with a 3.72 ERA for the Minnesota Twins. And it's Allen with a 3.7 ERA for the Cleveland Guardians. Best part about this one here, you get the lefty-righty matchups. Those are always fun. They always wreak havoc on some of these players. And what's going on with this? Hang on a second here. Please hold. Please hold. Had to refresh here. Weird. I don't know what's going on with maybe I got to just do a full, anyhow, 3.42 ERA for Logan Allen. Throws lefty. Big factor. We talk about this all the time when we do the hitting orders and talk about this with Sharpie on Tuesdays, which we will have a show tomorrow, Tuesday. And the best opportunity about it, you don't see a lot of lefties, and they tend to give you a challenge. Now, we got the lefty fit situation. Check one. This guy's been mowing people down, Logan Allen. Despite the struggle to the start of the season, he just came off a 2-0 6-inning, 3-hit performance. He shut him out. Aging like a nice bottle of wine as the season rolls on out there. And I like that move. Now, there's a couple other things that you have to look at when it comes to this Minnesota Twins team. For all of those that are in love with this Minnesota Twins and looking at their recent performances and thinking, man, this team's, are they ever going to lose? Yeah. First of all, they're going to lose today. First of all. In all fairness, two things. One, it defies the odds. Let me take a step back. You haven't played anybody. You played Baltimore, who just fired their manager, and they stink. You played Milwaukee, who stinks right now with a bad, look at. This is what blows my mind. They win a game 4-0 against Baltimore. Then they play Milwaukee. They win 3-0, then 7-0, and then they finally lose 5-2. And now they come back to earth. So when you look at this current performance and run that they've had, you can only play who's in front of you. I fully get it. But let's not go anoint them the AL Central champions when it comes down to it here. Excuse me. Sharp perspective betting action involved on the Cleveland Guardians. And that's where I'm involved. This is a spot for me with Cleveland. You'd also got the fact that they had 2 lengthy road trips out there. Back-to-back road series, I should say. And they're coming back home for the first game. So after 8 straight roadies, you're popping back home. You haven't played shit for anybody. And that being said, look at 26-21, but Cleveland's 25-21. You could argue that Cleveland's having a shit season. They just lost 4 straight games. And yet these are the numbers with the Minnesota Twins team that everybody loves for this AL Central. Not me, not tonight. Give me the road dog. For what it's worth, I did a little parlay action with the under. A Cleveland under parlay was plus 250-ish. Plus 250. Now, you can take Cleveland at plus 120. Oops. Not going to talk anybody off of that. I, however, decided to parlay these two together because I do like that lefty batting matchup. I think Minnesota gets shut down here. And I tell you, when those bats go cold, especially with 3 straight shutouts, you are tempting fate. And I think fate's going to come back and bite him in the ass here today. I like this under. I think they'll have trouble hitting the bats. I think Cleveland finds a way to win. Sharp perspective betting action, by the way, on both Cleveland and the under 7.5. So I got it up to 8. I took it up to 8. And look at Timmy Two-Shoe. Wind is blowing in. Love the weather update for you guys. Thank you very much, my guy Timmy Two-Shoe. Joe T, it's windy as F here. And rain, FYI. Let's go. We're going to get barking on this thing. Like I said, about plus 250 for this one. That's the way we're going to get this thing moving and shaking. Whoops. All right. All right. Oh, by the way, lest not forget, beat up players in the lineup. How could I completely miss that after the collision? I don't know. They still got, listen, I like Buxton. I'm a Buxton fan. I can't get involved with this Minnesota team. Not tonight. I think this is a good spot for Cleveland. Hit them where it counts. Take advantage of the lefty-righty matchup with the pitching advantage out there and smack them right in the mouth with a closed fist. What's going on here? What's going on here? All right, let's go. Dana Delp likes the Reds. Lodolo pitches better on the road than at home. I agree with that. It's a revenge spot for the Pirates, though. They already got busted up in that series last month. Can't be doing that against your divisional foes. What's up, Markel? Redbeard says, don't bet Mets tonight. Bo Jackson says they're 13-4 after a loss. I can see why it's tempting. It's a low price tag, though, isn't it? Minus 130 for Kodai Senga, who's killing it. With all due respect and fashion of the game. All right. Detroit and St. Louis. Nope. Skipped right over one. Skipped right over this one here. I'm going to take the Orioles. You know what? It's hard to believe. I just talked about Minnesota not playing two teams or not playing anybody. They just played Milwaukee. They played Baltimore before that. We know Baltimore fired their manager. Somebody had to pay the price for a subpar start to that season out there. And you got a little reverse line movement here. 71% of the bets, only 65% of the cash back in the Brewers. Why are you back in the Brewers? I just talked about how they're not hitting the ball. Now, Baltimore, you can argue, isn't hitting the ball either. 8.5 is the total. 82% of the bets, 87% of the cash on the over. I just want to fade Priester. This is straight pitching advantage. Kremer's got a 5.36 ERA. Priester's got a 4.59 ERA. I did mention, both these teams have been recent victims of getting shut out by stellar pitching and cold bats. Baltimore, just one win in that national series. Weird, though, because there were some strange price tags on that Baltimore spot out there. And they got back-to-back 10-6, 10-4 losses. They're getting run up like a fucking checkout counter. Brewers did just come off of a win against the Minnesota Twins. Messing with fate, back-to-back shutouts. So, yeah, you want to say they were due? Yeah, they were due. They were due and they got one. But their bats still stink. And this is where you got to look at this thing and say, based on the law of averages, you got a top 10 team in home runs in the Baltimore Orioles. When they connect, they connect. Mullins, 8 home runs, 27 ribbies. And Kremer, as I mentioned, the pitching advantage. This guy over his last 3 starts is a 2.75 ERA. Milwaukee shut out 4 of their last 6 before the win. Priester, Brewers 1-5 in his starts. Just doesn't have the stuff. He's a scrub. And you got Rutschman and Henderson. They should go out there and bomb this dude out. I believe this is a spot to get involved with Baltimore. You got Kremer, 6 straight 5+ quality starts. 5-inning plus starts for this guy. And I just think somewhere along the way, these bets are going to come to life for Baltimore. Law of averages, the rule of large numbers. And you're catching them at an even money price tag. I'm not laying juice with Milwaukee. No way, no how, no sir. Better pitching opportunity. I do want the length of the game. I do want to give those bats plenty of opportunity to wake up. Wake up, you sleepy bats. Go out there and get us some Baltimore O's. What do you guys think? Who's on that with me? Make sure you guys smack that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. Mark Elson's down. I got Brew first 5. Hey. I don't know. They got an opener. Rob Zastra. I can't even say his last name. There's too many Y's and Z's in there. You got more than one Z in your last name. I'm in trouble. Zastra. Nah. Not on a Monday. Yep. The opener for Priester. Shut up, Sancho. He ain't afraid to take the O's, make plays. I just think, yeah. Even Jover, our resident Milwaukee Brewers fan, says he can't bet this team right now. Can't be laying prices like that. You got to, sometimes it's, win or lose. Certainly we want to win, but you can't do it tonight. So the kid pronounced his own name to the 4th grade. Oh, man. All right. We're going to take a shot there. We're going to have some fun with a couple of these games that are popping up here. Got a couple parlays, couple home run props, couple cross game parlays as well. So get her ready. We're getting set to go here. We'll talk about this game first, the Tigers and the Cardinals, another spot where people seem to love this Tigers team. I get it. They're putting money in your pocket. So be it. You gotta respect it. Everyone likes cash. Cardinals, they were just red hot. They just took a loss. They fucked me yesterday. First 5 in full game. They score that run in the top of the 5th inning. Then they let Kansas City come right back and tie it up 1-1. And then they lose it in the 8th inning, I think. They let them score another one 2-1. It was a low-scoring affair for this Cardinals team that was supposed to be hot. 47% of the bets are on the Tigers, but 74% of the cash. What did they do to the line? They said if you liked it at plus 134, you got to love it at plus 140. They're begging you to take Tigers money right now. 8.5s have come down to 8s. 83% of the bets, 83% of the cash. Sonny Gray. Sonny. 4.5 Sonny Gray earned run average. Gunther, 2.25. This one comes down to me to just the pieces that have been used. Go back and watch this previous series. These Tigers have used up a lot of their pieces. They wanted that series against the Toronto Blue Jays. They got it 2-1, but it was all, look at the tightness of these games. 10-9, 6-5 against Boston, 5-4, 2-1, 3-2. Law of large numbers again. At some point, you don't catch the winning sides of those spots out there. You've depleted your bullpen pieces, and you're just begging for a big number. I think the big number comes this game. If you look at the Tigers since the start of the season, all their game 1 of series have gone over. When they trade locations, that ball gets flying. And that was through some of the March and April days as well. So I want to say it's like 9 straight overs for these guys to start the season. Also, if you're a Tigers backer at plus 140, that should be a red flag. If your last game you had 2 or fewer runs, now you're a home favorite in a new series with no rest. You're 28-11. I looked at this one. I thought bats come to life. I like that trend, and I think St. Louis can go out there and hit. I'm not going to lay that price tag with St. Louis. I almost parlayed St. Louis in the over. I opted to do it the other game there. I opted to do it with Cleveland in the under for a little same game parlay action out there. But I thought the 8 was a good number. This thing's come down from the 8.5 to the 8. That does concern me a little bit, but mitigating factors this season show us that when they get rolling, they get rolling. We got a windy day as well. I'm going to embrace this over. I think we can see both these pitchers are very vulnerable and can get touched up at any given time. I don't like to, this AL Central in general for me is like, I don't want to have to count on these bats all the time here, but I think this is a good spot. I think this is a plenty of opportunity. This way here kind of mitigates the side. I don't care who scores. Just score. I don't care who wins. And I think that's the way you got to play this series with Detroit and St. Louis. They seem to play each other every other weekend. And at any given time, they're capable of getting, look at. They won 1-0, Detroit against Kansas City. And then after they shut out a team, what happens? They lost 2-1. But prior to that, 10-3, they put up 10 runs. They had 14 runs against the Phillies in that last game of that series as well. When they get hot, they get hot. They got a 10 spot out there. They can push this number over the number on their own. They can push this number over the number on their own. That's what I was trying to say. And I do think that you've got to step down in competition with Detroit after playing some teams like Kansas City, although Kansas City bats are shitty right now too. We'll talk about that one for San Francisco play because I like the under there. But you had that Philly series. Got a postponed game. You walked out. They're finding wins. They're picking them up in bunches. And when they score runs in bunches out there. And that's the St. Louis side of things, not to mention what's going on with the Detroit side of the house with Detroit's overs in every single game to start a road series this season. Ramon's giving us the old Gunther. He's going to open up. Scump Blaster got Cardinals in under 8. He's going to go the other direction, though. All right. I like this next game. By the way, I'll get to it. I'll get to it in a second. I get myself excited. Sometimes I have these, what we in the business call moments of clarity. the bottle's down, and I got that moment of thought going, oh, wait, I did make a call that seemed to be going in the right direction. And what do we have here? What do we have? The Phillies at Coors with a 10. Now 10.5 even in some spots out there. 58% of the bets, 55% of the cash on the over. Then we got a total, or I'm sorry, a side, 94% of the bets, 96% of the cash. Nobody believes in the Colorado Rockies. It is Freeland. He is a freak of nature. He does pitch better at home in Coors than probably anybody else. And you have Sanchez on the other side. 2.91 ERA. Collecting wins in bunches. Now, I thought there was going to be some trouble. The Jose Alvarado thing don't sit right with me. And that's a big fucking suspension. Half the season? They chunked this dude for half the season because he thought he was overweight and he was taking a supplement that was helping him lose weight. That sucks. He brought this reliever in to be the guy. Now, on the other side of things, though, terrific pitching performance yesterday for a debutante. Phillies 11-10 on the road, second in the NL East. And I suspect when this series is over, you will have a new leader in the National League, and that will be the Philadelphia Phillies. They're a half a game or a game behind the Dodgers and was it the Mets? And now they're playing Colorado. What? They're not going to win every game this series? Up and down the lineup. Colorado stinks. We all know that. They've also fired their coach this year. Ramon. All right. I'm looking at this thing, though, and I'm thinking we got to have some fun with this game. There's got to be a couple different ways to attack it. I think the -2.5, I gave that out on Saturday. It's like -110, so that's a little beefy. That's not a spot that I mean, I like it for sure. If you want to talk about the X's and O's, Kyle Freeman, as I said, 6.15 ERA with a 1.6 WHIP. As much as he does play better at Coors, he sucks this year. He's got almost a 10. 32 runs over 15 innings pitched. And you're playing what's going to be the best team in baseball here by the end of the series. They know it. They know this team's averaging 4.7 runs per game. They pegged a 6.5 on this fucking thing. 6.5. Crazy. Crazy. What's up, Kirk Gray? Check this little number out. First play on this game. I took the total down to 5.5 from the 6.5. It's like -150. So, I mean, I think that's still a fine play. 10.5s now on the totals, getting a little up there as well. I looked at like Philly's just such a big favorite that you got to lay like the run line. You'd have to same game parlay this thing to find any value on the side, in my estimation. But I parlayed it with the total on the Angels. Now the Angels total is 4.5, so that came down to 3.5. By smacking the two of those, I got a +155 between them. So I essentially teased them down a run. As far as the Angels are concerned, and we can talk about that in a second here, but man, you just saw what they did to the Dodgers. By the way, PD prognosticator here, pimp slap POD. 10-4 was the expectation I had for the Angels bats after that Padre series. And people are blown away that they swept. You're not listening to Pregaming then, dude. I told you these are bats, and they're fired up there in LA. Team total over 3.5 for me, +155 to start things off. We'll come back to that Angel spot in a second because, there is something to notate on the over and the total in that game as well. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, if you sweep a team and you are a dog of +180 or more every single game in that series, you're 6-0 to the over. Big dog, 3-game or more sweep, 6-0 to the over the next game. Bats are alive. And they're going to Oakland or Sacramento, wherever the fuck they're going. Got to put a GPS on these guys to figure it out. JT Ginn, he's the guy? I don't think so. I think the Angels probably win that game outright too, but I opted to jump in there and get involved with the team totals. Hot bats keep running hot on both sides of things here. Now, I said I want to have some fun with this one because that was a nice little +155 spot. I'm almost at that too many tabs open. I like playing Castellano and Schwarber. I used my king of the ding-a-ling or whatever that DraftKings promo is. I parlayed the two of those dudes together and home runs. So let me see. Castellanos home run, Schwarber home run, plus 1650 for both those guys to get home runs. I'm starting off there. Let you know, I like both those guys involved in the home run game. They're a little less than pricey, which kind of sucks. Schwarber, for all the aforementioned reasons, that's probably going to be the MVP of baseball when it's all said and done. He'll have better numbers than Judge and Ohtani. Mark my words. And you're going to play on the best team in baseball after this series. Those are absolute. Those are bracketed and absolute statements. Those are facts, not opinions. Facts. Now, Freeland. Kryptonite. Right-handed hitters, maybe. 355 batting average and 874 OPS against the righty hitters. Nick Castellanos, 304 over the last 7 days against righties. Plenty of opportunities. He's fourth in the order. They're not taking him out. They're not going to pinch hit this guy out of there, or at least I can't envision that. And it should be score fest for these dudes. So his hits, runs, RBIs is like 2.5 at a juicy tag still. If you're going to play his RBIs, I like both these guys' RBIs too. But look, you got to play 2+. You're going to get involved in the Castellano business. It's like plus 250, I think, too. So there's a good price tag on it. I like these guys' hits, runs, and RBIs. Take them both over 1.5. I mean, the bottom line is the RBI 2+ isn't scary to me because he's hitting 4. He's got Harper, Schwarber, Trey Turner all in front of him in the order against a pile of pig shit like Kyle Freeland that should be out there leaking like a sieve. Plenty of dudes are going to be on base, and chances are, if he gets a run, he's driving in himself and somebody else, most likely. 2 dudes on base, probably. So, yeah, 2+ for Castellanos. RBIs is a solid look. Like I said, I took the home run prop out there. I thought that was a good play. At 1650, very rarely do we see an opportunity here, but we're at course against Freeland, who sucks. Did I say that yet? And he's not only does he suck, but he's having a shit year on top of it. And Castellanos against Freeland, familiar, success, and he's got that righty factor going for him. And Schwarber, how could he not? You know, the thing about Schwarber, 15 at-bats against Freeland, he's only hitting a 133. Do you think that one of the best hitters in baseball is likely to only stay at 133? Or do you think that he's probably found that steam in the fabric of time where he's going to fucking nuke Freeland tonight? Perfect opportunity for him to go get them numbers beefed up out there. What's up, AOD? What's up, you guys? Hope everyone is doing well. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. So that's it. I got the parlay between the two. You know what I really like too about the team total with this Philly spot is because they're on the road. They should get themselves. Obviously, they'll be batting in the 9th inning. That means one last opportunity for us to cash on some of these big props and paydays out there. So go get it. That's the way we're going to roll. That's the way I'm going to attack that game and play that action. And then I mentioned this LA Angel spot because I do think that, you know, look, they're playing Oakland. I talked about their bats heating up. 10-4. Who predicts something as bold and stupid as the LA Angels going 10-4 over their next 14 games after they finished off that San Diego series? I did. Why? Because I've studied their bats. I've studied looking at the RBIs in the preseason. I looked at this team. They lost that series. Now, I'm not entirely the Los Angeles Angels whisperer, but I didn't foresee him sweeping the Dodgers. I did not. And there you go. If you're going to play the Dodgers, you play them on the run line or nothing. They're either going to win by 2 or more runs, or they're going to lose. And in this case, they lost 6-2, 11-9, 6-4. Brings us out to the desert. I just think this is a good bet. Like I said, 10-4. They'll watch them go 14-0. Even better. I said we're going to get involved on that Angels train. We're on the Angels train tonight. I got the Angels money line. Got to put my money where my mouth is. The Las Vegas Athletics. They should have to change the Athletics name. I'm not sure what you call them. I don't know. I know Philadelphia Athletics. I get it. I know the heritage. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And this fucking non-city athletic. Whatever. Give me the Angels. Take the dog on the road. Big opportunity, big confidence going out there and handling the crowd. Now, that was rivalry weekend. So, did the Dodgers care about that one, or do they care about this one here against a former playoff team in the Arizona Diamondbacks? That will be the question. That's what time will tell for us here. When you look at these sides, by the way, splits for the Athletics, 52% of the bets, 72% of the cash. The line has moved against the Angels. So that money was coming in on the A's. Books are honoring it. It's a pretty good size differential out there. I can't click the button on the Athletics at home as a favorite. No, sir, no way, no how. And I'm big on the batting ability for this Angels team in a hitter-friendly ballpark after that confidence and beating up your crosstown rival in the Dodgers. Fuck yeah. Diamondbacks and the Dodgers, speaking of, 77% of the bets, 86% of the cash are on Los Doyers. The line has moved 9 cents. Minus 136 to minus 145. I get it. Like, if you're going to play, I said the desert, but I know they're at home. But if you're going to get the Dodgers, what are you going to catch them at 145? You're buying low. Still feels trappy. 85% of the bets, 94% of the cash are on the over. 9.5 has gone to a 10. Dreyer and Fott. That's what we got. And I'm just looking at this one here going, the Dodgers, they're averaging 6.52 runs at home. Highest in baseball. Now, I know I mentioned the aforementioned Philadelphia Phillies will be the number one team because I expect they will sweep this Colorado series, and I expect this to be a split fest between these two teams, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers lost this game. Nick Knack, Patty Whack with a 5.89 ERA with a 1.527 whip. He's putting ducks on the pond. So you got a pitcher that puts ducks on the pond. You got the Dodgers that are scoring more runs than anybody at home in baseball. And, I mentioned that I was having some fun with these hitter props today. Yeah, the Ohtani and Freeman home run and RBI props, just like I did with the Castellanos and Schwarber. And I may parlay all four of them together. So now you know the way I want to attack this game is I'm expecting runs. The over 8-3, the last 11 times these two teams met head-to-head. And look, to say there's bullpen issues with the Angels and the Dodgers, yeah, okay. Let's see this thing get going, and then not just going, but, we do have some numbers to back it up as well. As I said, that 8-3, two shaky, leaky pitchers out there, and bats that can fire at any given time. The over 9.5 is a blessing. It's a blessing to get involved with this game on that 9.5, and I'm going to take a shot with it. I'm going to go on that over. Think we see some runs. I got one last spot for us. Shout out to Redbeard, blessing our action, gifting us with a Sports Money membership, my guy. Cheers to you, Redbeard. Cheers, brother. Thank you. Cheers you with my Diet Coke, homie. For my homie Redbeard. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Let's go. Getting us moving in the right direction. How can you not get excited about giving out a WNBA play after our guy blesses our action here? I'm taking the road favorite in Seattle. It's early in the season. Now, my girl Angel, listen, I like them eyelash extensions. She got to step up, though. You're being a little, you're being a punk. It's gonna use the B word, but can't really do that when we're talking WNBA here. She pushes that player out of the way to get the rebound and then gets mad when Caitlin Clark does what she should have done to draw the foul and stop her and block her. Stop being a victim. You're not a victim. Caitlin Clark is helping you make more money in the WNBA. So as much as you're my girl, and I like them eyelashes, stop being a punk. That being said, this line opened up at 1.5. It's moved to 3s and 3.5s out there. So you got to shop around a little bit. And the reason that I'm jumping in here, first of all, you're giving me Seattle at a reasonable basket. Also, previous performance. Let's take a peek. What do we know that happened? Well, the Storm lost 81-59 on the road as a favorite. Is there a trend for a road favorite having lost on the road as a favorite? You know there is. You bet your ass there is. If you're a road favorite off a road loss and you have less than 3 days of rest, you are 103-66 against the number. 103-66. Line moving in the Seattle Storm direction. I'm going to take the full game, though. I'm not going to mess around with that first half shit. I did that, was it last Friday? First half lost, and then they ended up winning the full game outright. I got to get right on the side with this NBA stuff here. But Seattle -3 is the play for me to lock us show up. That's going to pop off at 8 p.m. Redbeard says, not a proper cheers. My dude, I was hammering it last night. Hammered down on a rare Sunday with the NHL playoffs going on in a Game 7. It was a lot of fun. And we're going to have some fun tonight. So let's get this cash, you guys. Appreciate you, my guy, Redbeard. Thank you very much for the gifted Sports Money membership. I will have to pop the top on some vodka in your honor. There's our guy, Ron Crawford. Drop it in. Our guy, Ron, giving us some KBO overnight action with the Kia Tigers. Let's go. Ron Crawford. Check out my guy. Giving us the plays of the day over there on Twitter. Jerry Davis says, Mikey, Dodgers had a lot more one-run games this year. I agree. I do agree with that, you guys. I hope everybody enjoys themselves this evening. Interesting week. We got Memorial Day coming up. We got to pay for them hamburgers, hot dogs, and shit. We just bust this week in the mouth here, starting with tonight. Maybe we just all go out there and get ourselves ribeyes for the family on the holiday. How about that? Sounds good to me. Let's get some cash. Check us out tomorrow. You'll see my guy, Ramon Scott, at 9 a.m. 1 p.m. Sharpie and I will bust out the Walking Dead, talking hitting props. It is hitting season. We're here to make that money and hit these books. Hope you guys do that tonight. Make sure you smash that thumbs up. Leave a comment post-show. Tell me if you're tailing a play. Tell me if you have your own play. Tell me something, but make sure you put a comment out there to keep this thing going, professionally disrupting the algorithm with YouTube. Are you guys here?